Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Anything from the state before we bring the jury in?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are with us, I give this instruction every time before the jury comes in. And that is simply to let you know that we cannot have any type of outburst or anything of that nature, regardless of what the verdict is. This is just simply to let you know that if you're unable to contain your emotions, you need to excuse yourself from the courtroom now. Because regardless of what the verdict is, there's to be no display or no outbursts or any sign of emotion whatsoever. All right, so if you need to be excused, you can go ahead and excuse yourself now. All right, let's go ahead and bring the jury in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I understand the jury's reached a verdict, is that correct? All right, and have you written the verdict on the indictment, signed it as the foreperson, and dated it?
Yes.
All right, if you would please hand it to the bailiff. All right, I'll ask the clerk if she would please publish the verdict.
Indictment number 2021 GS 2601191. The state of South Carolina, county of Horry versus Megan Marie Jackson as to the charge of murder. We, the jury, by unanimous consent, find this defendant guilty. Signed by foreperson Jeffrey Roberts, dated June 17th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if this is your verdict, please so signify by raising your right hand. Thank you.
I let the record reflect that all the jurors raised their right hand. Any opponent of the jury by the defense?
No, sir.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your service. That will conclude your duties as jurors in this case and for this term of court. And I want to thank you for your service. I know jury duty is not a fun thing to do, but it is an important thing to do and a vital thing to do. You have a 1-year disqualification from serving as jurors in state circuit court. You've got a 3-year exemption. I hope you don't exercise your exemption because we do need good jurors. And I want to thank you for your service. You're free to go at this time if you want to go. If you want to stay until the conclusion of the proceedings, you can do that as well. Just remain in the jury box. So it's up to you as to those of you who wish to go ahead and leave now, you can leave now. Thank you very much. All right, anything before we impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Well, first, I guess at this point in time, I know the rules of criminal procedure do allow time periods for post-trial motions. Is there any post-trial motions at this time?
Your Honor, we move for a judgment NOV by you based on the adequacy of the evidence presented, and also that you impose a verdict as 13th juror. Having sat through the trial, heard the evidence, we make those two motions. And we would like a little time to flesh those out, if possible.
All right, well, I'm going to deny both motions for judgment NOV, and also the motion motion as the 13th juror. I think there's sufficient evidence presented to the jury that supports their verdict. As I said, the rules of criminal procedure do give you time periods to file post-trial motions, so I'll entertain any other post-trial motions you want to do pursuant to those rules. I'll give you that time. All right, anything further at this time?
Your Honor, we are printing the sentencing sheet. We do have two victims who would like to address the court. Savannah Rice, who has been present the whole time, and then Zachary Rice, who is the victim's son from another relationship. With the court's permission, that would be via WebEx because he's had help.
No, I'm not doing WebEx.
Okay.
All right, so once we get the sentencing sheet, I will give the victims who are present an opportunity to speak if they wish.
I believe Ms. Rice wants me to read her statement.
Well, I mean, we're not doing that right now.
No, I
I need
know.
the sentencing sheet. I'll let you know when I want to hear from the victims.
She just went back to records to get it, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I believe that Zachary Rice is emailing a statement that he must have already had prepared. So with the court's permission, I'll read that one as well. He's a statutory victim, Your Honor.
Yeah, but why isn't he here? He has the right to be here, but he's not here.
Because he was forced to take custody of the children when their father was killed, and he has had to struggle to find jobs to now all of a sudden care for extra children.
All right, anything in mitigation from the defense?
Now, we asked that she be given credit for the time that she was in jail off of her sons and credit for home detention. I don't have the exact figure, but I'd like to present that to you in our post-trial motion.
All right. Ms. Jackson, anything you want to say, or does anybody want to speak on your behalf?
Your Honor, she wishes not to speak.
All right. Any prior record?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll hear from victims this time.
And Your Honor, did you need me to address the issue of home detention or not?
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, this is from Zachary Rice, who is the older son of Gregory Rice. At the time, once Gregory Rice was killed, Zachary Rice took custody of the four half-siblings. And he did this fairly quickly since we did not have WebEx available to him. He says, 5 lives completely shattered, showed no remorse, waited 5 years for this, just celebrated Father's Day without him again. I would like the maximum in sentencing, took my father's life, and I want her to pay eye for an eye and lose hers. And then, Your Honor, if I can have Ms. Savannah Rice come up. Your Honor, she's understandably emotional. She says, Your Honor, I believe that my opinion for how long she should be sentenced does not reflect what has already been done. This crime has torn apart my family, others' families, and friends beyond any measure. My siblings and I have all suffered greatly, not only from the loss of my father, but the loss of a mother too, the loss of our lives. We have been waiting so many years for just a bit of closure, and this is it. We will never have the chance to freely live our lives without the thoughts of what has been done following behind us. It has become a challenge to rebuild and grow from everything that happened. There are still days where I just cry and wish I could go back in time to maybe prevent what happened. I can't do that, though, and I will forever have the thought that I can't change anything alongside me. This trial and getting up on the stand has been one of the most heartbreaking and painful things I've ever had to do. It has also been one of the most relieving and rewarding things. I finally got to say what has been sitting in my brain the last 4.5 years. It was a relief finally being able to tell the truth and to go towards a cause. I believe that 50 years to life would be a sufficient amount of time. I thank you for your time, for listening to what I had to say. Thank you. Does Your Honor wish the state to address sentencing?
Well, if there's anything you want to put on the record.
Your Honor, the state is asking for the maximum term of life imprisonment. We believe that there is clear evidence that this defendant not only plotted and planned this murder, but also tried to frame the victim for things that she was doing. As Savannah said, and as I said in explaining why Zach couldn't be here, this really did destroy a number of lives. Zach was forced to take in 4 children, his half-siblings, as a result of them being EPC'd after Megan Jackson was arrested. We believe that there was nothing short of life in prison that would address this crime.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you have been found guilty of murder by a jury of your peers. The sentence of the court, I agree with the state. The sentence of the court is that you be committed to the Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life. You will get credit for any time, sir. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, anything further from the state?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, court is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And just like that, a case that stretched on for years comes to its legal conclusion. The jury's unanimous guilty verdict was only the beginning. The judge's denial of the defense's post-trial motions signaled that he believed the evidence fully supported the conviction. The emotional victim impact statements underscored how one crime can ripple through an entire family for years, while the sentence of life imprisonment closed the courtroom chapter, though not necessarily the emotional one. What do you think? Did the court reach the right outcome based on the evidence presented at trial?